Welcome into Football Guys Sunday Morning Live. I am Joey Wright, joined by Adam and Colton. We're here to help you win your first week of your playoffs. So excited for that. Adam, how many playoffs are you in today?
Too many.
Too
I
many.
actually don't know. I actually don't know off the top of my head, but we did okay this year. We did all right. So we're got a couple bye weeks too. Humble brag.
Okay.
Got to get that in on the show. Our staff league that you and I are in. You don't have a bye. I do have a bye. So I'm just chilling this week. But yeah. It's been good.
Knocked out of a bye in the final week of the regular season.
Ooh,
I was number one the entire year. Just heartbreaking, but I am going to stay in full playoff form while you're on the beach getting fat, just drinking up your pina coladas and getting out of your game. And I'm just going to be, I'm going to be ready to roll. Colton, other than missing the gray hoodie memo, how are you doing this morning?
Man.
How many playoffs are you in?
I can't believe I fumbled the continuity. We all have the black hats too. It would have been perfect. I should have just known, dude. It's week 15. Adam was flexing a little bit. I lost count. I got buys. That was he has to respect. Like, you got to do it. I think. Let's see. I'm gonna do it a little bit too. I think I only missed the playoffs in one league this year, out of 10. If I had just said 10 leagues and you're thinking those are rookie numbers, sorry, but I was in 10 this year, missed the playoffs in one, so we'll take it.
I got a few dynasty leagues I'll transfer over to you.
There we go.
Those are good numbers, Colton. Being in too many leagues is a problem that I have. That I need to get out of leagues.
Okay. Yeah, I thought 10 would be too many, and I was like, you know what? I'm doing okay managing this number of leagues. I felt like I was present in all of them. I'll stick with that.
Well, everybody, we're going to be here with you guys until what time? Noon today, and then afternoon, hop over to Football Guys Discord. Get your starts and sits answer over there. We want to answer every single question because we want to get you guys those wins today. Let's take a look at who is going to be out today. T. Higgins out for the Bengals. Looks like he was last week. You saw him get another concussion. Look like going to the protocol. Adam, is this something he can maybe come back from next week?
Yeah, I think so. Concussions have kind of been an issue for T. Higgins, and when they start to stack up, you worry about them resulting in multiple games missed. Practice reports will be very telling. They didn't rule T. Higgins out until like later in the week, so I do think there's probably a small chance that, or I shouldn't say a small chance. I think there is a chance that he'll be back next week.
Okay. Also out, Jaden Daniels. Any guess that he might be shut down for the rest of the season? The Commanders don't have much to play for, Adam, or is it look they're going to still roll him out there if he's healthy?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a team philosophy question we should ask Dan Quinn about. I mean, I was a little surprised he came back. Yeah, I know you got him on speed dial. I was a little surprised he came back even last week, and then obviously wasn't great. I understand being a competitor, but injuring his elbow again, trying to tackle somebody after an interception, you just kind of cut your losses at some point there. I don't know. He was still in a brace. I mean, he's still obviously dealing with some issues that it was re-aggravated. So I'd be a little surprised if he came back, but it's hard to say.
Colton, how are you feeling about Marcus Mariota? He's actually been really serviceable this season when we've needed him.
For sure. I think that is one of those games where I'm looking at the implied totals here, and New York and Washington has, is that the 5th highest implied total of the week at 46.5. Washington's implied for 22 points. Those two defenses have been so brutal with New York and Washington, particularly in pass defense, right? If you're looking at most advanced metrics, both of those defenses rank in the bottom 10 in most categories. Washington is now in a place where their pass defense is ranked lower than even Cincinnati in some spots. So that's one of those games where I think that's the perfect script for a shootout, right? A ton of points. And that's why I want as much equity in that game as I can possibly get today. There's some other games that are kind of in that category too, but Marcus Mariota is one of those guys that I think could be serviceable today, certainly.
Marcus Mariota or Jared Goff?
I think I have Marcus Mariota ranked higher. Marcus Mariota is my QB 13. Jared Goff is 15. So it's close, but I think I'm leaning Mariota.
Mistake.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with Goff or Mariota. So, all right.
Yeah,
Dylan Sampson and David Njoku both out for the Browns today. So Harold Fannin and Quinshon Judkins should be firing up in a cold game there. Marvin Harrison Jr. out this week again. I know we're going to get to Michael Wilson a little bit later in the show, Adam, but Marvin Harrison Jr., possibility he comes back this season.
Yeah. Seems like he's dealing with a heel contusion. And I know that doesn't sound like that should be something that's significant, but those are painful, specifically for skill position players that got to run and be able to cut. Driving that heel into the ground can obviously cause some issues if you got a serious contusion there. So I did have him projected to come back this week, but ballpark it, I think next week obviously would be within play. I'll have him projected to return next week.
All right. Mason Taylor for the Jets also out today. Hollywood Brown won't be suiting up for the Chiefs. Xavier Worthy, are you excited, Colton?
Man, I think the problem with this Chiefs offense in general is kind of what, and I don't want to read too far into what Houston is able to do, because Houston's personnel gives them the luxury of being able to do so many things on defense that not a lot of other defenses can do. But their formula that they followed last week against Mahomes was kind of the Super Bowl formula, where you don't blitz him at all and you still generate a ton of pressure. The Chargers are one of those teams that have a higher pressure rate relative to the blitz rate this season. And I think there's a chance that could throw the offense out of whack. Rashee Rice is really the only Chief I feel great about right now.
Okay. Got that. Geno Smith will be out for the Raiders. Fire up Kenny Pickett in a revenge game narrative. We'll have Jeff Bell on with us later to take us down narrative street. Pat Bryant out for the Broncos. Excuse me. Christmas party last night. All that yummy food just hopped up on me. Pat Bryant will be out for the Denver Broncos. And I'll speak on Pat Bryant a little bit. I don't know if I've ever felt better about Troy Franklin and Cortland Sutton, not necessarily from a matchup perspective, but by I think that's where the targets are going to go this week, because it's been a mixed match the last few weeks. So I'm feeling pretty good about Troy Franklin, especially today. Cortland Sutton's going to get his work. And Alvin Kamara out. I was listening to a lot of Boys to Men this weekend. Adam, is it the end of the road for Alvin Kamara?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the typical timeline for the injury that he's been dealing with. And honestly, Alvin Kamara has been on the injury report pretty much all season since week 8, dealing with some type of nagging issue. He's been playing through it. So I just think from a timeline perspective, like, he could be back next week, but obviously with the Saints, this is the part of the season where if teams are out of it, do they just shut people down? I could see that in the realm of possibility for Alvin Kamara, and just, the Saints wanting to see what they have in Devin Neal.
Exactly. All right, let's take a look at expected to play today. Christian McCaffrey, he is questionable, and I hate that it's a 4:00 kickoff, or afternoon kickoff, I should say. Adam, this one's an important one. It does look like he's going to play, right?
Sure. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does seem like he's going to play. I know people were worried when he got added to the injury report late. If he does end up playing, you're leaving Christian McCaffrey in your lineup. So just looking at kind of historical trends for Christian McCaffrey, he's somebody that misses more time than normal, but when he does play, he gives you Christian McCaffrey numbers, meaning he's really not limited. He seems normal workload. He gives you that high-end fantasy production that we're used to getting from Christian McCaffrey. So we expect him to play. 49ers have said that he's going to play. All the beat reporters are giving indications that he's going to be active. It's fantasy football playoffs. Christian McCaffrey got you here. You got to leave Christian McCaffrey in that spot.
All right. And then 3 names we knew would all be saying in week 15: Brady Cook, Kenny Pickett, and Phillip Rivers.
Let's go.
Boy, if there was a Vegas line on that, you could retire off that. Brady Cook starting for the Jets today. Kenny Pickett for the Raiders. And then Phillip Rivers coming back from, coaching a high school football team to play in the NFL after 5 years. Disney, get ready to write the script. The movie is right there for you. Colton, are any confidence in any 3 of these guys today?
Man, you brought up the coaching high school thing with Phillip Rivers. And I think one of the most interesting pieces of information I saw all week was what JJ Watt tweeted out about the production meetings with CBS when they were talking about this game, and they found out that Phillip Rivers was running the Shane Steichen offense for his son's high school football team and calling the plays for the Shane Steichen offense for this high school football team. And every week, Phillip Rivers and Shane Steichen were watching film together, talking about the plays. That stood out to me because this offense could be second nature to Phillip Rivers. I think there's a wide range of outcomes here for him, but that continuity and that familiarity with one of the most quarterback-friendly offenses in the league makes me somewhat optimistic. I don't want to sound crazy here, but could this be a high enough floor to support Tyler Warren and Jonathan Taylor at least? I don't think that's impossible.
I don't think Vegas knows either. I saw the passing yard total was at 152 yards over under, and I don't even think they all right, if you're gonna put your money there, go ahead. We'll see what happens, I guess. But yeah. Questionable today, Roma Dunze. Oh, go ahead, Adam.
No, I was going to go off topic because you made the quote about a Disney movie. I mean, if Disney made a movie about Phillip Rivers, it's Dennis Quaid, right? That's playing Phillip Rivers. It has to be.
He's too young. Dennis Quaid's too young. Yeah, I don't know. I think Will Ferrell would be a really good Phillip Rivers in a dramatic turn.
I was going to say Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke. Yeah.
Oh,
no, Will Ferrell could rock that bolo tie and really pull it off. So. We'll see what happens with Phillip Rivers today. Questionable today, Roma Dunze, Rashad Bateman, Parker Washington, Quentin Johnston. Any of these wide receivers, Adam, you're expecting not to play at this point?
So I think all the guys on this list here are expected to play. The one I'm really skeptical about at this point is Roma Dunze. I don't know how much we want to get into him. We don't really have an exact timeline in terms of when he suffered the stress fracture in his foot, but it was going to take more than a week to fully recover. So I'm just really really skeptical what his production looks like. Granted, like I said, I mean, is this week 6 of him dealing with this injury, or is this week 2? That makes a big difference. So the question, honestly, whether he should play in terms of your fantasy football rosters, I think comes down to some other options, but we'll see in some of the start sit questions here. I'm probably going to be leaning away for Roma Dunze where I can.
Perfect. That's good to know. Chris Rodriguez Jr., Deebo Samuel. Either of them expected really to be out today? I mean, I know you said kind of everybody on the list was pretty much affected.
Yeah. Chris Rodriguez's groin injury, which isn't great, but he was getting in limited practice sessions. I felt more comfortable about him. Quentin Johnston, I'm going to be looking to see if we get anything on Twitter, just kind of live updates. He was another one that groin injury, but he really was not practicing this week. Quentin Johnston obviously been pretty disappointing the last couple weeks. That Chargers offense and passing game, kind of hard to play anybody at this point. So he's another one that I would probably be staying away from.
Perfect. All right. And Devontae Adams and Jake Ferguson both expected to play today, but still questionable.
Yes.
And let's go to the last card. Not expected today, Nick Chubb. He's doubtful. He might have been ruled out in the last 5 minutes. I have no idea. But was not expecting him to play this week. Guys, we are going to try to get to every one of your questions today. I want to make sure we get teased it. We'll get to it later. All right. So first question, Mike Ingles, thanks for being here. Hello, gentlemen. Full PPR, 1 quarterback league. Drake May against the Bills with bad weather, or Bo Nix against the Packers. Colton, where are you going there?
Yeah, I have Drake May still in my top 10. He's my QB6. I know the weather is going to be brutal. Or maybe not brutal, but obviously a little bit of a factor. Yeah. Bo Nix versus Green Bay. I think that matchup on both sides, right, for Jordan Love and for Bo Nix is a little concerning. I'm sticking with Drake May. He's probably who got you here, right? He's been awesome. So I think I'm leaning Drake May.
Yeah, and we'll go Drake May over Trevor Lawrence as well. Doggy Good, glorious morning. PPR. Should I start Vele, Slayton, Addison, or Mechie? Adam, pick one.
So bad. Yeah, I think I was just reading that second part of that question there.
Yeah.
I'd probably go Addison. He just has the highest ceiling out of these guys, and we've seen some good production from Jordan Addison this season. I know some of these other guys have stepped up in spots, but it's been pretty streaky. And then I think you'll be okay with Devontae Adams. I mean, Sean McVay said from Thursday basically that he expects Devontae Adams to play, so he should be out there.
Yeah, this is a matchup. Last week we saw JJ McCarthy be serviceable. This week, if he takes the next step against Dallas, this is the team to take a step against. Addison could be very valuable today, so don't think that's a bad call at all. Mark, good morning to the best fantasy gurus on the internet. Thank you so much. Joey, Jeff, Adam, Colton. Start one. Colton, which one? I'm just kidding.
Let's see. I think I'm going to start Adam.
Adam,
but
yeah,
Jeff is close. Yeah.
Bad choice. Bad choice.
Jeff showed up.
Always
early,
go with
guys,
Jeff.
to the show to hang out with me.
Jeff and Adam are a close call. I have them ranked back to back.
All right. So Seattle or Philadelphia for a DST today, Colton?
Yeah, this one is definitely an interesting one because, man, I just don't see like Phillip Rivers. I mentioned the range of outcomes here, and there is a scenario where this offense looks a little more competent than we think it could. I don't really see that scenario. As pessimistic I am about my Birds right now, like I don't really see that scenario with Kenny Pickett in Vegas, right? I think Philly, they're my number one defense this week. I think you got to lean that direction.
All right,
and then ETN, Marks, Harvey, or Swift. ETN is one of my favorite running back starts this week. I have him ranked in my top 10. I think that's a great matchup for him with the Jets. And then we talked about Nick Chubb being out earlier. I think Woody Marks against Arizona, we saw him get the workhorse treatment last week. It wasn't efficient volume, but he still got 26 carries. And I think you have to stick with what we've seen from him, especially with Nick Chubb out of the mix. Wide receiver, let's see. I think I'm going McLaurin there. Like I said, I want as much equity as I can possibly get in that game. Dak or Burrow, I have Dak ranked 2 spots higher. I have Dak at QB7, Burrow at QB9.
All right. Mark's saying thank you. Hopes he's back with us next week. We hope you're here with us as well. Sean has got a question for us. Full PPR, Goddard or Kelsey at tight end? Adam, pick one.
Oh, I think you got to go with Travis Kelsey. Division matchup. Goddard's just kind of fallen off, and honestly, the Philly passing game hasn't really been great, surprisingly, outside of A.J. Brown the last 2 weeks. So I think I'd be avoiding that if I can. I'm going to play Travis Kelsey.
All right. And then the second part of the question, go D Swift and Brees Hall. Keenan Allen, can't trust him at this point, especially with the matchup. Citron Physics. Morning, guys. Debo, DJ, or Kelsey in a wide receiver tight end spot. Colton, pick one.
I think I'm going Debo here.
Okay.
I know there was some question whether or not he would play, but this matchup, I think with New York is too good to pass up here. DJ, I'm assuming that's DJ Moore. DJ Moore is in a spot right now where I just cannot trust him. You know, Rome Odunze out of the mix, and he saw 3 targets, a 7% target share in that game. Luther Burden, I was excited about, you know, with Odunze out. That was the direction I wanted to lean, and that's kind of the direction we went. So I can't trust DJ Moore at this point. Kelsey, wonky game too, but give me Debo out of those 3.
All right. And John, you're going to go, we kind of cover this, Drake May and Dak Prescott. A different John has a different John question. Good morning, football guys. That's us, non-PPR. Andrews are likely. Colton and I were talking about this before the show. I think he has me sold on likely. Colton, break it down. Why?
Yeah, this Cincinnati tight end matchup is what we've been chasing all year, right? And it's happened for us without fail. A tight end facing Cincinnati's defense has finished in the top 10 at the position in each week since week 4, right? Like nobody has missed the top 10 against Cincy's defense for an extended period. Mark Andrews, for me, I think the inefficiency over the last 5 weeks, he's averaging a yard per route run since week 10 and 2.4 catches per game. I think he's going to be more touchdown dependent in this game, which helps certainly with non-PPR, but Cincinnati is brutal in defending after the catch. 2,160 yards after the catch, 291 more than the Commanders, who are second worst. I think Isaiah Likely can exploit that a little more than Mark Andrews can, and that's why I'm leaning that direction.
Love it. Yeah, Colton and I were talking. I'm now going to be starting Isaiah Likely over Brian Thomas Jr. today. Don't like the matchup for Brian Thomas Jr. Jets have been pretty good against pass. So we'll see if that bites me in the butt, and we'll see if I'm brave enough to actually do it once 1 o'clock arrives. Burden, Higgins, or Vele. Go Burden there, and choose 2 between Hampton, Genty, or Neal. Adam, pick 2.
I'm blanking on who. Do the Saints have a tough matchup this week?
Panthers, I believe. Yeah,
Panthers.
Good
yeah,
sense.
I'd probably go with Hampton and Genty.
Yeah, it was a rough morning to see if I was going to make it to the show after that Bucs game Thursday. I finally recovered from that. Just poop in the bed. Need 1 wide receiver in a standout spot. Ladd, Vele, Shakir, Coker, DK. I think you're still going to go Ladd McConkey. Also, Stranger Loveland. Okay, Colton, Stranger Loveland. Where are we going there?
I have Brenton Strange ranked as a top 10 play. Yeah, he's my tight end 7 this week. I really like how he's come on since he came back from injury. The only part there is that's a 13.5 point spread. You hope Brady, man, it's a Brady Cook offense. You don't know how competitive New York is going to be, but you hope Jacksonville throws the ball for long enough for Brenton Strange to stay involved. I think they will. I like Brenton Strange this week.
All right. Next question. DT there. Tough one here. Running backs are Javonte Williams, Woody Marks, Travion Henderson, and Rico Dowdle. So you've got some good running backs there. So he needs 1 running back and 2 flex spots. And then the wide receivers would be Wilson and Diggs. So let's kind of workshop this together because it's a little, I think Javonte is probably the best running back of the group there you have listed. I definitely want to get Wilson on the field today. I know you guys probably do too. So who's that last spot going to go to between Marks, Henderson, Dowdle, and Diggs? You've got a good problem to have, DT. I'll tell you that right now.
Definitely. I think it's a high floor. Like, I don't think you can go overly wrong here. That's the luxury of this problem is you can kind of lean on what you feel a little bit. But for me, I think Javonte Williams, Travion Henderson, and Michael Wilson would be the 3 I'm leaning on.
All right. And then I have the Pats players and Dowdle sitting so far, begrudgingly on Henderson versus Buffalo Rundy. Yeah, Henderson's got, and they're going to have to score. So, boy. All right. Epidemic 619. Hola, mi amigos. So the playoff run begins. I've got either Goff or Dart, but it's 1 point every 10 passing yards. So 300 yards equals 30 points. I think Goff, but Dart has a great matchup. In that special format, Adam, where are you going?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a premium on passing. We've got Dart rated pretty high against the Washington offense. We got him up at QB4, Goff down at QB15. I don't know if that passing yard incentive is enough for me. Plus, Jared Goff playing the Rams defense. Rams have been pretty good against the pass, so I don't know that the passing discrepancy is going to offset enough because we expect, Jackson Dart to at least get you 4 points, 5 points with rushing alone. Obviously, he's always a threat to get a rushing touchdown. So I'm going to play Dart.
Okay. Yeah, it's I have Dart as my QB4, and even with that special settings with that league, it's still tough to move off him. David. Hello, gents. Hello, David. That's a nice picture, David. You put that on your LinkedIn, you'll get a job, no trouble at all. Lamar Jackson or Jackson Dart? Colton, pick one. They're
both top 5 plays for me this week. As I was ranking my quarterbacks, man, like Jackson Dart continued to climb. The more that I researched, I ended up with Jackson Dart as my number 1 overall play at quarterback this week.
Did you?
Wow.
If that's wild,
Like
that's
it.
wild, man.
No.
I just like the matchup is Washington's pass defense has been brutal. You get the rushing production. I think he's got one of the highest floors at the position this week. But again, they're both top 5 plays for me. Lamar Jackson's my QB4. So this is one where we talked about it in the previous question. Like, you have the luxury of kind of going, maybe you're not as high on Dart as I am and you want to lean Jackson. I don't think you can go wrong either way, but
No.
For me, it's Jackson Dart.
You should listen to Colton, but it's funny because my number 1 quarterback this week is Lamar Jackson and my number 4 is Jackson Dart. But but I don't disagree with that single thing Colton said. Like, they're so close.
Yeah,
So
you can't go wrong.
Good problem, David. Good problem
to
have. Jordan, sorry about this one. Oh, he's got a lot for us. Need 1 wide receiver and 2 flex and half PPR. I'm going to rattle the names off for you, Adam. Zach Charbonnet, Chuba Hubbard, Tony Pollard, and had a great game last week. Quentin Johnston, Xavier Worthy, Jordan Addison, and Rashid Shaheed. And he is, or she, because Jordan could go either way, the underdog. Where are you going, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, typically with this, whether you're the underdog or not, projections can obviously change drastically. So I don't want to read too much into that. But we're picking 3 here. I do always like to swing for the fences a little bit. So I'm going to pick some guys that I'm going to pick Xavier Worthy as the wide receiver. I get it. It hasn't been great, but just embracing some volatility and hoping for a longer touchdown. I'm going to play him. I think I'm going to play Zach Charbonnet, and then man, these are some tight ones that we have based on our rankings here. I'm cool with Chuba Hubbard too. I think he kind of worked his way back into that Carolina. So I'm going to go Zach Charbonnet, Chuba Hubbard, and then I'm going to try to get a high ceiling play in there. And I'm going to pick Xavier Worthy of those options.
Sounds good. Dane's got a rapid fire for us. Roma Dunze or Luther Burden? Colton.
Man, the Roma Dunze injury is so brutal because if he's not gonna go, then I think you have to lean Luther Burden. But if he plays, he's a fringe wide. He's like wide receiver 26 for me is where I have him ranked. If he does play, but the injury variable there makes me a little nervous. I think because of that, and Adam's sort of read on that situation too. I think I'm going to lean Luther Burden there. I like the role that he saw that without Rome in the mix last week. There was enough volume there for me to feel relatively confident. And then Sharber Gainwell. I like Gainwell. I think the situation that we've seen evolve in Pittsburgh is one where Arthur Smith kind of views Kenneth Gainwell and Jaylen Warren as 2 guys that he can rely on. We're seeing more of like 1A, 1B there a little bit, where it's not like one can do something that the other can't. So I like Gainwell, Devontae Smith, Tyrone Tracy, or Tyler Warren. Man, Tyler Warren has such a wide range of outcomes this week. I have him ranked as tight end 10. I think out of that group, I have Tyrone Tracy at RB 28, Devontae Smith. I think probably Tyler Warren there. I think I'm going to swing for the upside. I think he could have a nice reception floor with Phillip Rivers.
All right. Well, I think likely Tyler Warren finishes as the tight end 1 this week. Colton, I want you to tell us why you like Isaiah Likely this week.
You had to get a likely reference in there. I love it.
It's beautiful.
I love it. This is me swinging for the fences, man. Scared money don't make none, especially this time of year. It's about as high risk, high reward as it gets, but you got to roll the dice here. And this Bengals tight end matchup is one that we've chased all season long. Entering week 15, Cincinnati is allowing tight ends to score 8.3 points over their average. That's the worst mark in the league by a significant margin. For reference, Giants are second at 3.1 points over their average allowed. 50% of the snaps in every week except for week 4 for Likely. 6 targets in each of his last 2 games, finished as a top 12 tight end in each. If Isaiah Likely scores those 2 touchdowns, and you probably know what I'm talking about, but the touchdown that was called back against Pittsburgh, and then his fumble out of the back of the end zone against Cincinnati, we're probably talking about a top 5 tight end over the last 2 weeks. Like he has been that productive. I talked about Cincinnati's yards after catch vulnerability. 518 of those yards, or 23.9% of the 2,160 yards I referenced after the catch, is deemed over expected. So where, the play should have been over, but they can't make a tackle, or, he makes the ball carrier makes someone miss, whatever it may be. Talked about a tight end facing Cincinnati's defense finishing in the top 10 each week since week 4. Talked about Mark Andrews' inefficiency. I like Isaiah Likely over Dallas Goedert, Mike Gesicki, AJ Barner, Evan Ingram, Mark Andrews. I said, no, I didn't. And TJ Hawkinson, just to name a few. There you go. That's my case for Isaiah Likely.
Beautiful. Colton, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you do good in your matchups today. And we will see you next week, right? Yeah, you'll be here next week.
Yep.
Awesome, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, guys. I'll see you.
All right. And that brings us to bring on someone that we love, that's near and dear to us. It's Jeff Bell. Jeff, how are we doing today, buddy?
I'm good, Joey. I'm cold. It is cold here in the Midwest, and I think we can't emphasize that enough. As we're looking at our fantasy football playoff matchups here, the weather is going to be a factor in some places. I'm sure you've already talked about it, but it is very, very cold.
Well, Jeff, it's cold where you live, but I think you're going to talk to us about a hot player in Stephon Diggs.
I am going to talk about a hot player here in Stephon Diggs. And let's see here. Let's run through the numbers here. There are multiple reasons why Stephon Diggs should be the start of the week. I mean, obviously, we saw the big game that he had against the Bills earlier this season. We know his time in Buffalo left him so aggrieved that he has to go against the Bills every single time. So he has some numbers that he's chasing right now. So he needs 6 catches to unlock a $500,000 bonus at 70 catches on the season. So he's got 64. So 6 catches will get him there. I mean, this Bills defense has allowed some massive games this season. We saw the T. Higgins game last week. Zay Flowers week 1 had a huge game against the Bills. Drake London went for 158 yards. Tedero McMillan, 99 yards. And so we're seeing also Christian Benford on the questionable list with a toe injury. Add it all up, Diggs is a player that is going to be very, very motivated in a massive matchup. I mean, maybe going to be a snow game. We'll see on that one, but that should be fun. But I think that this is get him in your lineups. I'm seeing him ranked like around wide receiver 25. I think that that's way, way too low on consensus across the industry.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Jeff. I'm going to move into a couple of my lineups. Adam, if you're looking for a transition from Michael Wilson, I don't have one for you. I just know that you're a great person, so you'll have a great start of the week for us. Pulled it out in the clutch there. Adam, talk to us about Michael Wilson. I did tease it earlier in the show, though.
Yeah, I mean, we're just riding the wave with Michael Wilson at this point. He's got a difficult matchup, which made me a little bit hesitant about it, but sometimes you just got to ride the hot hand and get a guy into your flex lineup when you can. He's playing Houston this week. Houston's actually allowed the second fewest fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. But when Marvin Harrison Jr. has been out of the lineup and Jacoby Brissett has been in the lineup, Michael Wilson turns into Marvin Harrison Sr. He's commanding a 30% target share over those last 4 games with Jacoby Brissett. For people that need help with math at home, that means every 3 passing attempts, Michael Wilson's at least getting 1 target. He's been a machine. He's pretty much the only player outside of Trey McBride that they target in the red zone. So give me some Michael Wilson this week.
I'm loving the snark in the start of the week. That was beautiful. Before we get right back into starts and sets, and we have a lot of questions, which I'm so happy to see. We're going to rapid fire through these for the next half hour. Jeff, I want you to take us on a little trip down Narrative Street, though. What's going on today?
Yeah, so obviously we started off with the Stephon Diggs revenge narrative. We also have Mac Hollins with a revenge narrative in that game. And believe it or not, Brandon Cooks also has a revenge narrative, former New England Patriot. So there we go. We know Matthew Stafford versus Jared Goff. It seems like we get that every single year now at this point, and sometimes in the playoffs too. We get that again. It's really interesting. Stafford is 117 yards away from moving into 4th place on the Rams career passing yardage list. Do you know who is in 4th place on the Rams career passing yardage list?
I do, but I want you to tell us, Jeff.
It's Jared Goff. So
Woo!
Stafford needs 117 yards to pass Jared Goff on the Rams career list going up against the Lions today. We love that spot. Christian Kirk for the Texans going up against the Arizona Cardinals, where he started his career. Jonnu Smith going up against the Miami Dolphins, who traded him. And we saw a defensive trade on that game as well with Jalen Ramsey and Mika Fitzpatrick switching sides. And then we've got Kenny Pickett. The Eagles gave him a ring, and now might give him a tough day as the Raiders starting quarterback there. Backup quarterbacks, Joe Flacco, Andy Dalton going in the Joe Flacco in the Cincinnati Ravens game, and then Dalton in the Carolina New Orleans game. Devin Tompkins played on Thursday night, was a Falcon. He's now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. And then just some numbers. We're getting to that stage of the season where some things can be unlocked in terms of contracts. And Javonte Williams needs 100 scrimmage yards and he needs 1 touchdown. And both numbers will unlock $500,000 bonus for him. So if he gets that, he can earn $500K. So $1 million total in potential play for him. Travis Kelce needs 6 catches to move into the top 10 in the career reception list. So he's right there on the threshold. Reggie Wayne is 10th right now. Tyler Shuck needs 105 passing yards to become the Saints' all-time rookie passing yardage leader. So that's a fun number.
Harold Fannin.
Harold Fannin needs 7 catches to break the Browns single-season reception record. Tyler Warren needs 8 catches to break the Colts single-season rookie record for Fannin there. And then Juwan Jennings needs 142 yards and a touchdown, and each of those numbers would be 660. So it's 666 apparently in Juwan Jennings' contract there that they wrote into the language. So 142 yards and 1 touchdown each unlocks a bonus for him. Hunter Henry, Matt Collins, 5 catches for each. Hunter Henry would earn $250,000 with 5 more receptions, and Matt Collins would earn $300,000 with 5 more catches.
Beautiful. I want everyone to know that usually like about midweek, Jeff and I just start texting each other in all caps, revenge players. Like this week, I sent like Kenny Pickett in all caps. And I know Jeff already knows it, but I just get excited when I see him and I figure him out.
Yeah, and I appreciate you keeping an eye out for that. And I do an article called The Fantasy Fix. If you check it out, it comes out on Fridays, usually maybe Saturdays sometimes, because that's my life right now. And I do run through all these numbers, all these narratives, all these things to watch for. I run down our DFS starts and stacks of the week and discount plays of the week. I run down Sam Wagman does a great props column that on our site, and I throw some of my player props in as well. So really just kind of view it as a way to get you ready for the weekend. But that is the Fantasy Fix. It comes out at latest on Saturday. So
absolutely check that out. Also check out the DFS Showdown tool that just started up with Football Guys. Got it out there for everyone. Definitely start using that. I used it on Thursday and tripled my investment of 10 cents. I turned it into 30 cents. But you know what? The factors don't lie. I tripled my money. So it doesn't matter how much I put in. I got triple out. So let's go. All right, guys, we're hopping right in those starts and sits, and we are going to rapid fire through them. We want to get through as many as possible, but if we don't get to it by chance, hop over to that Football Guys Discord and get them answered over there. Okay, Purdy, Goff, Brissett, rank them, Jeff.
I'm going to rank them. I've got Purdy, then Goff, then Brissett. And Brissett
Beautiful.
I'm not playing against the Texans. Adam, I love your start of the week. I'm not touching against the Texans defense.
Yeah. Mark, need 2 of these in PPR: Rico, Hampton, McLaurin, and Sutton. So sit to Adam or start 2. Just say what you're going to do first. Oh, you're muted, buddy.
In PPR, I'm going to take the wide receivers, I think. I'm going to take McLaurin and Sutton.
Any injury updates while I was blabbing?
No, I was scrolling. I'm still looking for Quentin Johnston.
Okay.
I have not seen anything official yet, though.
All right, good morning and happy holidays. 1 point per reception. Played Bucky on Thursday and need a winner today between Juwan Jennings, Kenneth Walker, and Tyler Warren. Pick one, Jeff.
Juwan Jennings, Kenneth Walker, Tyler Warren. I just said Juwan Jennings going for some numbers with the iffy status around Christian McCaffrey. I like Juwan Jennings here in this Titans matchup.
And I'd go Love over Brissett this week. Should I be worried about McBride? I can pick up Strange, Likely, or Waller. Thanks, gents. Adam, are you getting cute and starting one of these guys over Trey McBride?
I am not getting cute. No. Chargers just released their inactives literally 30 seconds ago. Quentin Johnston is inactive.
Ooh, okay. That's a big one. Quentin Johnston, if you've got him in lineups today, I know some of you might, get him out, get somebody in there in his place, like Isaiah Likely could be somebody you put in there, or Michael Wilson. All right. Irish, good morning. Up against Pittsburgh. I need all the lucky charms and upside. PPR, sit one. Tedero and McMillan, Christian Watson, or Jawan Jennings. Sit one, Jeff.
Sit one, Tedero, McMillan, Watson, Jennings. I hate to say sit the hot hand in your fantasy playoff matchup here, but Watson would be my sit.
Okay. And I don't disagree with you. That last week, Watson was like, I was hammering it, like I'm starting him. It was all matchup based. This week, I'm not so high on him. Also, he's got Hurts in 4 leagues. Does he bench him for Purdy, Stafford, or Dart? Adam? Yeah, are you benching him for either of those guys? It's tempting with Dart, I think.
Yeah, I know. We're really high on Dart. I don't think I would. I try to be a little bit more conservative in the fantasy football playoffs, and I just think the floor is a little bit lower for Jackson Dart. But our rankings on our website do have Dart ahead of Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Vi Queen, thank you for being in here. You get the consistency award for being in every show for Sunday Morning Live this season. There's others too, but you have been, so appreciate you being here. Kenneth Walker, Michael Wilson. Jeff, pick one.
Kenneth Walker, Michael Wilson, full PPR. I'm going to play Michael Wilson. And we went way too hot here.
Yeah, I got the bouncies there. Kicker, Myers, Fairbairn, or McPherson. I would go McPherson. I think that Baltimore Bengals game today could shoot out a little bit, and I want a kicker in a shootout.
Do you want to do that in the cold? That's my only question.
Okay. Very valid point. Is there a kicker you like here better, Jeff?
I like Fairbairn better here against the Cardinals. I like that matchup quite a bit.
All right. Listen to Jeff, not Joey. Oh, come on. There we go.
Well, you were the number one kicker, though, ranker, weren't you? Like at one point.
I mean, I wasn't going to bring that up, but sure, I was. Yes, I was number one, actually. Yeah. And that was one season off, and then I said I'll never do it again, just so I can rub it in Andrew Cooper's face. Love you, Coop. I make it to the next round. Trone Force, I'll be playing Dart versus the Vikings. Should I drop either Emmanuel Wilson or Corum for Jordan Love, who faces the Bears? I love that you are looking ahead. I don't think dropping Emmanuel Wilson's a bad idea to pick up Jordan Love. I don't think carrying 2 quarterbacks is a bad thing. Some people do. I don't. I like to roll with 2 quarterbacks pretty much all the time. And never they high profile ones, always middle of the road guys, and you just stream it. All right, Vi Queen, Hurts or Dart? We kind of ran through that already. Probably still stick with Hurts. Good day, fellas. Have a few questions here, and then has nothing. Great. Coastal League, greetings and salutations. Oh, hi. Which 2 of these 3 to start in full PPR? Flowers at Cincy, Judkins at Chicago, or Watson at Denver? Flowers and Judkins, guys. That feels pretty firm there.
Yeah, I just hate what DJ Turner has done, and we saw Flowers post a negative number 2 weeks ago against the Bengals. That concerns me there. So if you're swinging for the most potential upside, maybe Watson. But yeah, I think Flowers, the volume should be there.
Yeah, I think Chicago and Cleveland is just going to be a 1950s style NFL game where they're just running the ball the whole time, which is kind of why I'm off Caleb Williams today, to be honest. I'm not feeling it with him. I make it to the next round. We already covered that one. Good morning, Scott. Happy to see you here. Walker or Gainwell? Adam, pick one.
Man, I hate that we've gotten to that point with Kenneth Walker. I think I'm still gonna play him. I have no idea what this Colts offense is gonna look like with Phillip Rivers. There's potential that it could just be really, really, really bad, which means Seattle will have the ball for the most of the game, and I could see them running a decent amount. So I'm going to play Kenneth Walker.
Okay. Andrea, good morning. Happy to see you here. Dalton Kincaid or Theo Johnson? Jeff, pick one.
Dalton Kincaid or Theo Johnson? Give me Theo Johnson. Commanders have allowed the 3rd most fantasy points against tight ends. Theo Johnson, we saw him ready to throw down for Jackson Dart 2 weeks ago. I think that Jackson Dart repays that with Theo.
All right. And Brendan, just because of the question mark with Ferguson, I'm going to go Kincaid here. And maybe that I'm playing too safe, but you've got a really good option and a guy that we don't know that's playing on Sunday night. Is it Sunday night or Monday night for the Dallas? I think it's tonight. Is it?
It's one of the Sunday night. It's Sunday
perfect.
night.
I was right. Should have trusted my gut. May with the snow versus Buffalo or Dart versus Washington? That's spicy, Jeff. Where are you going?
I have Drake May ranked ahead right now.
All right. Flex 1 and half PPR. Mims, Corum, Diggs. It's going to be Diggs. Tchaikovsky, Corey Merritt. Even if Rodriguez doesn't play, it's not a good start. The Commanders seem like they've just completely gone away from him. So yeah, don't trust him. Devonta Smith, Juwan Jennings, Rico Dowdle, or Woody Marks, and we need one of those guys. Adam, pick one. That's tough.
I'm between Rico and Woody. I think I'm going to go with Woody Marks with Nick Chubb not expected to play, or I think he's actually been ruled out by this point.
Okay, DT, I believe who was ruled out? Chubb.
Okay, Chubb.
And
he definitely was not expected to. Yeah, he was definitely not expected to play.
Yeah, we had him on the not expected thing. Cool. DT, pretty sure we got this one earlier for you. Howard Fisher, good morning. Dart versus Washington or Burrow versus the Ravens? Gonna say it's Dart from everything we've said so far. And need a wide receiver 3 between Tedero and McMillan. Stephon Diggs, Vele or Slayton. I think it's between Tedero and Diggs. Pick one, Jeff.
Diggs.
Okay. Good morning, football guys. I read that the exact way it was spelled. Half PPR flex. Choose 2 between Johnston. He's out today, so not Johnston. Vidal, Hubbard, Strange, or Knight. Pick 2. Adam.
I'm going to pick Vidal and Hubbard.
All right. Winner of name of the day, treats on the beat. Happy playoffs, fellas. Got a tough decision with Diggs or McLaurin today. So Diggs or McLaurin, Jeff. Pick one.
Diggs.
All right. There we go. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Scampers is here in the building. Get excited, folks. It's been here for a while, it looks like. Yep. Christian Watson, Tedero McMillan, or Ken Walker. Pick one. It would be Adam. Who would it be?
One wide receiver, one flex. I'm going to play Tedero McMillan. And I'll go with Ken Walker again.
All right. And I would go McConkey over Neal, Andrea. Unless you're playing me, and then I'll do it the other way around. Just kidding. Need 2. Judkins, Harvey, Tedoroa, or Debo. Jeff, pick 2.
I like Judkins and Harvey here.
And then Woody Marks or Marion Hampton. Adam.
I think I'm going to go with Woody Marks.
Okay. And I apologize, folks. I'm not reading your context. We're trying to get through as many questions as we can before we get out of here today. ETN versus the Jets, Marks versus the Cardinals, or Hampton versus the Chiefs. We need 2 of them, so we know Marks will be over Hampton. Jeff, Travis Etienne or Hampton?
If we need 2, it's easily ETN here and Woody Marks.
We all be jamming. Good morning, guys, and happy playoffs. Drake May or Lamar Jackson this week. Adam, pick one.
That is a very tough one. Man, these both could be high-scoring games. I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson.
He's my QB1 this week, so I'm hard to disagree with you, but if you play Drake May, I wouldn't blame you. Irish, Debo, Sutton, or Devonta Smith? Jeff, pick one.
Give me, in this matchup here, give me Debo versus the Giants.
All right, I'm going to let you be a tiebreaker here. We've been back and forth between Dart and Jackson all morning, Jeff. Dart or Jackson? Burrow's kind of out of the question at this point. Unless
Jackson. And so it's interesting. I posted at base camp. So Jackson's a Florida guy, but he's actually been very, very good in cold weather games. His passer rating is higher than his career numbers. He had a good weather game for fantasy last year against the Bills in the playoffs. I like Jackson here against the Bengals team that I don't know if they might be on 1-2-3 Cancun mode.
Ooh, 1-2-3 Cancun mode. That's fun. So in a kick return points league, Debo Samuel, Wandale Robinson, or Kavonte Turpin. Adam, pick 2. Man.
I think I'm still going to go with Debo Samuel, Wandale Robinson.
Yeah. Does Wandale return kicks? I apologize for even asking that. If he does,
I think it's just because I think it's Turpin but they added that indicator because that's the only way that you would consider Turpin with Debo and Wandale.
Yeah, over the last 4 weeks, like with Wando Robinson, I know he's not getting return yardage, but until Michael Wilson blew up, he was leading the league in targets. So, like, Wando Robinson is a really good play right now, especially in this matchup against Commanders. So I wouldn't get too cute with Turpin, but I do get it. I would say if CeeDee Lamb was missing this game, Turpin would be really, really tempting to play. But it looks like he's going to play. Olave or Sutton? Jeff, pick one. Ooh, that's really tough.
Olave here.
Okay, not for Jeff.
Green Bay Denver just feels like a stay away to me. But
okay, all right. Golfman, Florida. That used to be me before I had kids. I think I told that joke earlier in the season. A great day to win a playoff game. I completely agree. Need 2 running backs, an RB2, and a flex of these. Judkins, Hampton, Vidal, or Genty. Jeff, pick 2.
Give me Judkins here. And I'm going to have Genty ranked over the other 2. To me, the Chargers feel like a stay away spot with what we've seen from their offensive line, and Justin Herbert on Monday Night Football did not look good.
One tight end. Honkers at Dallas. Who's Honkers?
I assume Hutchison.
Oh. Sorry. Okay, we need to get back on track, Joey. Schultz versus Arizona or Komet versus Cleveland. Jeff, pick one.
Schultz here. Schultz has been a top 3 target earner for the Texans. I like him.
I will never not call him. I will never call TJ Hawkinson. Hawkinson will be honkers from now on. Oh God, brutal day. Jonathan Taylor, Kyron, Woody, Quinshawn. I see all these dudes being great. I'd also like to bench JT, even though QJ and Woody will probably outscore him. Paul, he's just dealing with him. He's a play too. So JT, Kyron, Woody, and Quinshawn. Pick 2. Adam.
I'm playing Jonathan Taylor. There's no way that I'm not. Man, I think we really like Judkins and Marks, but man, I just feel like Kyron's been so solid. I'd probably play Kyron.
Okay. We are going to do the best to get through all these questions, folks. I've seen them all, and I'm really going to gun it for it. So rapid fire is rapid.
I'm going to go fast.
Guys. Eagles, Raiders, Seahawks. Oh, so Eagles
versus Kenny Pickett. Let's go.
Yep. All right. Irish, Watson, BTJ, or Shakir. Adam, pick one.
Watson.
And I will go. So I'm going to ask Jeff. Marks, Chase Brown, Harvey, Hall, Jalen Warren. Pick 2.
Pick 2. Give me Woody Marks. Give me Chase Brown.
And thank you for being here. Good morning, my sweeties. Philip Rivers took me back to prom, 1974. No comment on what base he got to. Beautiful. I put that up because I just wanted to say it. Yoshi or Pearsall? Adam, pick one.
Pearsall.
And I will go Travion Henderson over Genty today. I think this is the kind of game Travion thrives in. Sorry,
Rivers
Jeff.
is barely older than me. He was not alive in 1974. So definitely not going to the prom in 1974.
It could have been like a Back to the Future type situation. I watched both of them the last 2 weeks with my kids. Waffles with their picture pancakes in here. Football, absolutely. Help, please. Stranger. Okay, we're there. Mahomes or Dart? We're going Dart. Manungai or Chris Rodriguez?
That's easy. Rodriguez out.
Yeah, Chris Rodriguez is out.
Ooh, Chris Rodriguez is out today. Still not playing JCM. Mike Ingalls, hi. One more question. Travion Henderson or Ladd McConkey? Jeff?
Travion.
Okay.
Ladd McConkey, wide receiver 65 over the last 4 weeks.
Whew. Beautiful little stat there. RJ Harvey, Swift, Jacoby Myers, or Sutton, Jeff?
RJ Harvey, Swift, Jacoby Myers, or Sutton. Give me RJ Harvey in this one. I do like Swift, though.
I'm going Lamar Jackson over Patrick Mahomes. And then Adam, Strangeworthy, Christian Watson, Jennings, or Devonta Smith needs 2. Keep McBride
2 and 1 flex. 2 needs 3.
So give 3.
I'll go with Worthy, Watson, Smith.
Beautiful. Jay Brenneman, betting is illegal at Bushwood, sir. And I never slice. Thank you so much for being here. Real question. Mark Andrews, AJ Barner, who I believe is out today, or Colby Parkinson. Jeff, pick one.
Mark Andrews, Bengals, massive target against tight ends. So,
okay. And it's not AJ Barner, it's Elijah Arroyo that's out today. I apologize. I got my
he's on IR. Arroyo's on IR.
I got my Seahawks tight ends confused. May or Stafford? It's gonna be Drake May. Neil Genty or Myers, Jeff?
Neil Genty or Myers. What if full PPR? Give me Myers.
Okay, one flex between the following in a tight end premium league: Monungai, Vidal, Corum. Rodriguez is out. Pierce, Henry, or Parkinson with no spaces, and I still got through that. Adam, pick one flex.
One flex.
Yep.
Kyle Monungai.
Okay. Would we start Gainwell over Genty? No. I like where your head's at, though. Fellas, this is it. Need 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers and a defense. Kyron, Henderson, Marks. Pick the 2 running backs, Jeff.
Give me Kyron and give me Marks.
Okay, and 2 wide receivers, Adam, out of Myers, BTJ, Judy, Slayton.
2 wide receivers. I'm going to take Jacoby Myers and Brian Thomas Jr.
And I'll go Bears defense. I know that's
Double
crazy,
Jags.
but they're playing. What'd you say?
Double jag wide receivers there. So,
yeah.
But I think the Jets have been shredded in the air since they traded Sauce.
Mm-hmm. Dart over Mahomes. Michael Tolle, I need to choose one flex between the following players in a tight end premium league. Did we already do this? We did.
We did.
Yep.
We did again.
3 times. Whew, that's a lot. Pick 2. CD, Pickens, Michael Wilson, or Judkins. Adam, pick 2.
CD and Michael Wilson.
Beautiful. Dart over Darnold every day of the week. Likely or Warren, you're still going to go Tyler Warren. I like where your head's at. Morning to you too. Dart over Mahomes. I'm really going to try to get through all these. I'm just here for the revenge narratives. You got them. Jeff gave it to him. They were beautiful. But as long as I'm here, BTJ, Burden, if Odunze sits. BTJ. Beautiful. BTJ or likely, Jeff?
BTJ or likely, Brian Thomas Jr.
That was for me. I'm so torn. Full PPR, need 1 between Kelsey, Singletary, Ferguson, and Tyler Warren. Adam, pick 1.
Kelsey. I'm going to pick Kelsey. No, I'm going to pick Tyler Warren. Also, I'm disappointed that you haven't asked me about likely and or Brian Thomas Jr.
Adam, go. Here, let's make you feel good. Go, pick 1.
I don't think I want to tell you yet.
Deebo Samuel or Juwan Jennings, Jeff.
Juwan Jennings.
We're getting through them. We're going to do it, guys. I feel it. Good morning, guys. Best streaming defense for next week. Oh, my gosh, Jack. What are you doing here? No, I'm kidding. Thank you for being here. Tampa Bay versus, they gave this matchups. Tampa Bay versus Carolina, Detroit versus Pittsburgh, San Francisco versus Indianapolis, Atlanta versus Arizona, the Giants versus Minnesota, or Dallas versus the Chargers. That is really tough. I feel like I'm going Arizona because I feel like Atlanta after this week will have nothing to play for.
We probably want to see what Rivers looks like with that 49ers matchup. So
that's a good call, Jeff. That's why I'm hosting and you're analyzing. Ken Walker or Blake Corum? Adam, pick 1.
Ken Walker.
Gatson would not be a better play over Tyler Warren. I just can't. I can see where your head's at, and I like where your head's at.
Touch the Chargers. Chargers terrify me.
Yeah. Flowers or Diggs? It's going to be Diggs. Likely or Kincaid? I'm going likely.
Likely.
Tom Brady in a orange shirt there. We answered this one. Sutton or Watson? Adam, Sutton?
Yeah.
Okay. Adam, likely or Brian Thomas Jr.?
Brian Thomas Jr.
Rashad Bateman is out. Chris Rodriguez is out. We got all those. Thank you, Andrea, backing us up. We appreciate you being here.
Bills.
Mm-hmm. Waddle, Judkins, or Harvey? I think Harvey's out of the question here. Is it Waddle or Judkins, Jeff?
I'm going to go Judkins.
Okay.
I understand concern about starting 2 Browns.
Mm-hmm. But you've got the 2 ones you would start. So I currently have Nico and Olave as my wide receivers and McLaurin as my flex. Should I play one of these other options instead? Devonta Smith, Debo, Jalen Warren, Gainwell, or Corum? Jeff is saying no. We are so close to the end. Likely. Ken Walker over Corum. Joe Burrow over Dak and why. I like Joe Burrow over Dak because I like the matchup better. I think it could be a shootout today. Happy holidays to you two. Warren Schultz Gasecki. Warren. Oh, pick 2, Pickens, Wilson, and Judkins.
We already answered this one.
Beautiful. Jaden Reed over Higgins. I would go Higgins. We did it. Got through every question. Good job, guys. Woo! New to the show. You got another regular guy. Darren, thank you so much for being here. Blackstone Clean, ready for burgers, whatever you want to call. Guys, you don't understand how long that streak was. Whew. Guys, as always, we have reached the end of the show. Joey might pass out. Adam, leave the people with some good words while I breathe and hit my inhaler. Because I do.
Appreciate you guys tuning in, obviously, all season long. We're going through the fantasy football playoffs, so we hope to see you back here next week. Obviously, I drop an injury column at Football Guys that drops every Monday around noon, recapping the injuries that happened this week. Obviously, there's going to be some important things that happen, and waiver wire should be less competition now that less and less teams are in the fantasy football playoffs. So good luck to everybody. Hopefully Joey picks the right start between Brian Thomas Jr. and Isaiah Likely.
Oh, goodness. Jeff, before you head out, I want to shout out. I shouted him out privately to the company, but Dylan McCartney, Dylan, buddy, he's sick today and he still got the graphics in for us. Dylan, you are a king. We appreciate you and all you do on the show to make us look so good. Jeff, do your thing. Send us away and give us words.
Yeah, so I do believe that Kyle Pitts is good to have in best ball leagues. I just want to put that out into the universe. It seems to be it's a bad thing if you had the most fantasy points at tight end ever in your best ball matchups, but we do like that. I want to say that throughout the week, I write the Monday roundup. I write on every single backfield that's been in action, every single target tree that's been in action, and then the fantasy fix that I mentioned. And if you read those, just drop me a note. Let me know what you think. I'm happy to change and do whatever based upon feedback. I don't hear a lot of feedback, so I'm operating blind a little bit. But I want to say, too, on the Kyle Pitts thing. So on Friday, I talked about how Alvin Kamara was my worst ever fantasy matchup in the title game of my home league. I got the Alvin Kamara 6-touchdown game on Christmas. So if you're facing Kyle Pitts, you just got to chip away, put your best lineup out there, just chip away a little bit at a time. You can beat it. But it's going to be hard. And other than that, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose, go out and win one.
We love you, people. See you next week.